Howdy, welcome back to Well County Regulators. And today, it's windy as shit, so you may not be able to hear a whole lot when I get out there, but the Ranger, Apache, blew another slave cylinder. I'll explain that in a minute, but it's happened this is the third time, so I got the most expensive one I could find. It's supposed to be pretty good, and we're gonna put it on there and see what happens. Well, the old Apache clutch pedal is just going to the floor with no resistance right now. So that's good. The first step is create a garage floor because we're too cheap to pour one. And just like that, you have yourself a redneck garage floor with a very high ceiling. Infinity. Okay. Well, pulling it over here just now, the clutch seems to be doing well. Okay. No. I don't know. Right now it seems like the clutch is doing all right. No, it's not. Yes, it is. For the love of all things holy. So, we're gonna crawl underneath this truck. We're gonna look at the slave cylinder and find out if it's actually leaking or if it's just... And 2 weeks ago, when I drove this, I could barely even get it into gear. And then once it was in gear, I had to slip shift it. It wouldn't. And right now, the clutch is just working. So we're gonna crawl down there and make sure that it's actually leaking before we tear it apart, because tearing a transmission out is kind of a large deal. Okay, so transmission. Inside of there, because this is a manual transmission, inside there that you can't see because it's dark, there you go, that thing is the slave cylinder. So when you push on the clutch, I will draw on my video, I guess, this pushes against these teeth, these fingers, and that releases the clutch plate that's over there, the clutch disc, from the flywheel. And I will draw and sketch and whatever, try to make that make sense. Okay, here's my very oversimplified, dumbed down version of it, so that maybe I can explain it. Push on the clutch pedal, goes in, pushes that plunger in, fluid reservoir, shoves fluid down into basically a big syringe. Fluid goes in there and it pushes. Normally this would sit, hold on, I think normally that'd sit down like that. You put fluid, you push on the clutch pedal and it shoves this up. I'm pretty sure it works that way, not the other way around. And that pushes that plunger out, which I drew this wrong. So you have your engine, and that's the flywheel. And then you have a clutch plate in the center, and then this is a slip disc, another big metal ring, and they sandwich that clutch plate, and the clutch plate is on the input shaft to the transmission. So normally these two are squishing the clutch plate that's in the center. When you push, I'm not doing a good job of explaining this. When you push on the clutch and this comes out, it pushes on these fingers which pivot like that, and they pull that one back, and it releases that clutch plate. That didn't make sense, but I can't do any better explaining it. But so when you push on the pedal, fluid goes through this line and pushes on that onto those fingers. Anyway, basically that whole system is just leaking out the bottom. It keeps blowing seals. So I have to replace that. So that means that all this has to come out, and for this to come out, this and this and this, and I already said that. And this cross member has to come out, as well as the rear drive shaft and the exhaust and all those bolts. And one of those bolts is almost stripped out, and the starter and electrical stuff, and great fun. Okay, while rolling around down here, I've noticed that my drive shaft, my front drive shaft, when I'm in four-wheel drive, sometimes this thing goes clunk, 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 and it's not my, well, yeah, my boots are getting real dry on my control arms, but it doesn't feel like it's my, or control arms, it doesn't feel like it's my CV axles in the front. It feels like and it sounds like, so I think the problem is, so front drive shaft needs to be replaced. We will do that at the same time, because why not? And I also noticed that my cross member is just missing a bolt, because, you know, that's why there's two of them. So one of them's disposable, right? So I need to get a new bolt there, and I'm gonna go ahead and replace a bunch of these because they're all, I don't know, might as well, I guess. Attempting to fix this vehicle is a lost cause. Insanity. That's factual, actually. So far I have got the drive shaft off. These are very rusted. Very rusted. We're gonna pretend like that's not there. Look at the play in this bolt. I don't think there's supposed to be that much play. Sorry for the wind. I'm trying to block it, but I live on the plains, so, you know, lost cause. That rattled loose at some point. I also just noticed that my cross member is cracked. Not bad enough for me to worry about it, mainly because the entire truck is cracked as well. Like, type of crack. That's what this truck is doing. No, crack makes you hyper. This thing's doing the opposite of that. I don't know. I'm gonna try to take the exhaust Y pipe off now. Okay, exhaust came off. We got the catalytic converters out and the Y pipe out. So right there where that stud is, there should be a stud on the bottom and over there. two of the, well, both of those broke. So we're gonna be putting bolts through instead. This one I'm gonna go get some easy outs tomorrow and try to get it out. We'll see how it goes. This one I don't know what to do with. We're just gonna leave it for now. All of these bolts on the exhaust are weakened. That one's all bent because it bent when I was trying to turn it. So all four of those are going to get replaced as well. We have the drive shaft out now. The rear drive shaft is out of the way somewhat. Actually, it might not be. This thing might have to come out. I don't know. We're now working on these bolts. This one doesn't come out. It just stays in the transmission housing. Stays in the transmission housing like that, because why would you have to take a bolt out? Let's just put this here. Brains. And we're working on the rest of these bolts, and then the transfer case should drop out, and that way when we drop the transmission onto the transmission jack, the transmission doesn't try to roll that way, because we have to get it set right like this, so it'll slide back into the engine. If that made any sense. It did not, and that is okay. Okay, things are all disconnected. This should be ready to come out, and once I get this cross member out, man, I'm close. Once I get this cross member out and those two bell housing bolts, the transmission should, in theory, oh, nope. I gotta take off my shifter first. Otherwise I'll bugger a bunch of stuff up there. And then this should be ready to come out. I have to set up a jack down here and whatever. So here we go. Terrible angles probably. I kind of wish this was down here so I could set it on my chest. Because that as it is, it's going to come and squish me in the face. Oh dear. I'm gonna need a new gasket too. Fuck. Oh, son of a gun. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, buddy. Transfer case is out.
You don't say!
Okay. This thing has sat for far too long, and it smells like mice. Actually, look at all them footprints. Mouse. You think? Oh, I am gonna murder some little fucking mice. Alrighty, so I just have to take that bolt off, and then 4 screws down in there. Actually, I have to take this off too. And then that should come off. I think that I have to take the little nub off too. Fuck. Like so. Ta-da! That's out. Now, duct tape goes on there, and then we can pull the transmission. on now. Come on now. Drop it below the cab. Come here. Ladies and gentlemen, that's how you drop a transmission. And that's what we're after. This little do-hunk-a-majigget down here. So that's just a bolt there and a bolt there after you pull the entire transmission out. Give me 5 minutes. I'm gonna fight this and I'll be back later. Apparently I didn't record it, but transmission went in, cross member went on, and top went together that night. I swear to God, this Ranger is a curse. So, bolts up here. Got that one beat out. Got that one beat out. This one down here I went to beat out, and the whole thing came off. So now I have to weld that back on, I guess, or try to, without going through. I'm so tired of this truck. Okay, finally have a chance to work on this thing. It's been 2 weeks or something. So we ground this down so it's nice and shiny metal. So I have something shiny to weld against, and ground that down so it's shiny as well. And then I'll just tack it here, tack it there, tack it on top, tack it on bottom, and then try to do a bead all the way around. Alright, well, it's not perfect, but oh my goodness. That one's got a little bit of it. I'm not sure if that goes through back there or not, but that one's perfect. I don't know. If they're all like that, I'd be happy, but they're not. They don't look too bad. In theory, it'll hold. It's not like it's going on a Ferrari. It's going on a 25-year-old res rocket. So I think that's going to be good enough. I may clean it up and touch up a couple spots, put tacks in places that may or may not have holes in them. I could swear I've never had a project done in plenty of time to do a road trip. So we got her put back together the rest of the way last night. On the drive shaft, on the front drive shaft, one of the bolts that I put in there, well, the two that I replaced, they're longer than the original ones, and the threads at the end of the hole are not very clean. So one of those bolts, I dug it in there. It's not going anywhere, but it needs to be pulled out. Threads need to be cleaned, and I need to replace it again. Otherwise, front drive shaft's together, everything's put back together, the truck is running. That's why you don't pull up so close behind me, guy. I almost rolled into you. She's running. Not well, but she's running. I have no heat. And on startup, she rattles something fierce. But other than that, we're running like a dean. She's a 20-year-old res rocket. And she shows it. Anyway, I'll update you later on what happens with this thing. Anywho's, y'all keep between the ditches. Keep the shiny side up and the dirty side down. And I will catch y'all on the flip-flop. This here's a tired sun. We gone. So you drive a 25-year-old res rocket like I do. Sometimes the heat shuts off on you. That's alright. Everything is okay. Really, it's quite simple. You just imagine that your old Russian dedushka driving Lada on the snow. Lada is not good on snow, and Lada is also 65 years old, so nothing really works correctly on it. And then you look around yourself again and you remember, it's not so bad. Can't feel this finger anymore, but who needs it? I have 3 other good ones. Everything is okay. Cramping in fingers, normal. Normal. Всё хорошо. Not really, but you know what I'm saying.